Okay, this is All Back to Mine, episode number 33. And today is Tuesday, the 8th of November. It is 8 p.m. UK time, and it is also 5 p.m. Brazil time. And that's because my special guest today is JJBZ, all the way from Brazil. So let's say hello, and here he is. How you doing?
Hello, I'm doing fine, and you?
Yeah, I'm really well. This seems to be working. I think we're live on Twitch. So obviously, if you're watching on Twitch, come join the conversation. We're also live on your Instagram page. So again, come join the conversation. And if you're watching this back later because it's being recorded, it will be on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button for free, and also Mixcloud Live. Hit that follow button for free. But this show is called All Back to Mine, and the way it works is that I invite guests onto the show, and I ask them questions about their musical influences, about their background, things like that. And then we also have seven-inch records. So in the UK and other places, 45s. In Brazil, compactos.
Compactos. Yeah, I selected some for us today.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to it. So, um, before we start that though, I always like to take my guests right back to the beginning. So, from a young age, so from maybe childhood, who were your sort of musical influences? Was it sort of friends, family, brothers, sisters? Who was in your life who got you into music back then?
I have like a very normal beginning on my music influences. It starts with my family. My father and my mother, they were really into what we call here regional music from Brazil, which
Okay.
was the music produced outside from São Paulo and Rio de Janeiro. And we listened to a lot of forró and other rhythms from this outside this X from Rio and São Paulo. And I used to listen to a lot of radio with my brother too. And we were into pop music that plays on big radios. We used to do like little mixtapes,
Cool,
recording
cool.
from the radio. And it was nice. There was something funny because when the radio presenter, they
Yeah,
were
presenter,
like,
yeah.
yeah, he was like doing some kind of vignette during the music. We were like pissed off. "Oh, come on, man, don't do that right now," because we were recording that. And that's where it begins. I was like into really huge industrial music, pop music, and I was also into deep digging through Brazilian music.
Yeah. I'm going to say hello. Leo Corsi's in the Twitch
Oh,
chat.
my. Salve, salve,
Uh,
Léo.
salve,
Vamos!
salve, Leo. Hopefully, we're going to have Leo on this show sometime
Yes.
in the new year as well. But let's just dig a little deeper on that. So, when you say
Okay.
making mixtapes, I'm assuming I might be wrong. Are you making cassette tapes,
Yes,
or
cassette tapes.
yeah, okay, and then obviously pausing when the person would talk, and then starting again for the next song. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think we're all about the same age. I think we all sort of did that sort of thing, certainly here.
Yeah.
Um, Here, there used to be a show, the Top 40 show. It would be the
Okay.
charts, so 14 down to 1, and it would be on a Sunday, and they'd announce it. So obviously, you'd know roughly a song that's likely to come up. So you'd be waiting for that, waiting, and then right, record it, and then like you say,
Yeah.
he'd say the presenter would say something right at the end. You'd be like, "No, I want
Yeah.
that song." So annoying.
You screwed my mixtape, motherfucker.
Exactly. Exactly. But yeah, so you're saying sort of industrial music?
Oh, no, no. I was going to say like from the industrial music,
Yeah.
not no. How can I say that? Because in
You said
Brazil, that's the term. I don't know how to say that in English exactly, but it's something like you have the music industry. So the
music
music
industry.
that
Okay.
come from the music industry is like the biggest pop music that ever
Okay,
have
yeah.
been.
So
So
the
in that
pop the pop
sense,
the popular music, the sort of
yeah, yeah, yeah,
like we have here the chart music, the stuff that
yeah,
you'd hear on the normal radio. Okay, but yeah, again, I think that's where most people's music starts, doesn't it? From a young
yeah.
age, it's listening to the radio. And you mentioned your brother. Is he younger, older than you?
He's like a year younger, and we are
Okay.
like best brothers and best. friends until today, and I hope for our entire life. And he is a musician. He's a
That was going to
how
be
do
my
you say?
next question. Yeah, yeah. So he's a
Yeah,
musician
he's a
rather than a
bassist.
DJ. A
Yeah,
bassist
he's a
in a
bassist.
band.
Yeah, no, no, in an orchestra.
Wow. Okay. Like a
Yeah,
proper, like a double bass.
yeah,
Like a
double
proper.
bass. Yes,
Wow.
I
Wow.
was trying to remember how is that in English. Here in
Yeah, yeah.
Brazil, it's contrabaixo.
Contrabaixo. Is that close?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm going to try and learn. I've had we had DJ Robert Smith on the show, and he was teaching me some German. So I'm
Oh
going to try
wow.
and pick up a little bit of Brazilian as we sort of go along. But that's cool. Okay, so that was from a young age, and we'll move on a little bit in a minute. But the sort of premise
Okay.
of this show is that if I was to come to your house in Brazil one day, who knows, maybe,
Oh, I hope so.
and you were to say to me, I have these 7 records, I have these 7 sevens that you have to listen to. And so
Yes.
you play them to me and to everyone else watching. So let's start with the first one that you've chosen. So first of
Okay.
all, if you tell us what it is, why you've chosen it,
Okay.
and then we'll listen to about a minute and a half.
Okay, that's perfect. This is music that comes from Bahia, which is a state here in Brazil, very famous state
Yeah.
in Brazil. The music that comes from Bahia is very well known outside of Brazil. This is Gilberto Gil. I've been with Gilberto Gil recently, which was like a big
Okay.
honor to me. And he
Yeah.
signed this little copy, this little compacto. I don't know
Hold
how,
on a
if you
second. Let
can
me let me
see it over
get that up here.
there.
One sec. Let me
I
get
hope
that
you
one
can
sec.
see it. It's a signed copy.
Wow.
Let me check. And the song is Andar com Fé. Can you listen? Is it good?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Andar com fé eu vou, café não costuma falhar. Andar com fé eu vou, café não costuma falhar. Andar com fé eu vou, café não costuma falhar. Andar com fé eu vou, café não costuma falhar. E a fé tá na mulher, a fé tá na cobra cora. Oh, num pedaço de pão. A fé tá na maré, tá na lâmina de um punhal. Oh, na luz, na escuridão. Andar com fé eu vou, café não costuma falhar. Andar com fé eu vou, café não costuma falhar. Oh lá lá, andar com fé eu vou, café não costuma falhar. Oh menina, andar com fé eu vou, café não costuma falhar. A fé tá na manhã, a fé tá no anoitecer. Oh, no calor do verão. A fé tá viva e sã, a fé também tá pra morrer. Oh, triste na solidão. Andar com fé eu vou, a fé não costuma falhar. Andar com fé eu vou, a fé não costuma falhar.
This is great, right?
It's a beautiful song, and so here that's Gilberto Gil, I would say, but obviously
Yes.
I'm in the UK. So tell me how you say it in Brazil.
Gilberto Gil.
Gilberto Gil. Okay, so
Gilberto
the
Gil.
G
Yes.
is rather than a hard G in UK, it's like a J.
Yeah.
Gilberto Gil.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
The,
But I mean,
the, the,
he's world famous, isn't he? You know, I mean, I've got
yes.
records. I've got records from him, and I love his music. But he's been around a long time, hasn't he? I mean,
Yeah, he's just
What year?
become 80.
80. That's crazy,
80,
isn't it?
yes, 80.
What year is that one from? What year is that song from?
This one is from a year before I was born. This is 82.
82. Okay.
Yeah.
That's a few years after I was born, not many, but a few years after. But I mean, this is one of the things I love about the community that we have, the vinyl community in Circuit 45, because we tend to play music that is sometimes older than us.
Yeah. Yeah.
And especially when the kids are playing, the music that the kids are playing is like
Yeah.
5, 6 times older than them. It's crazy some of the music they play. But that's a really good start. Really good start. That's cool.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a special moment to talk about Gilberto Gil
Yeah,
because
yeah.
we just won an election here in
I
Brazil
was gonna
for
ask you
our
about that.
field.
Yeah,
Yes, and
yeah, yeah.
Gilberto Gil used to be culture minister from before Lula's government.
Okay.
And there's this amazing moment for us, which was when Gilberto Gil was in ONU, UNO. You saying it right? UNO.
UNO. Do you mean United Nations?
Yes, the
Yeah, yeah,
United Nations
yeah, yeah. UN. Yeah,
organization.
we call it UN here. Yeah,
UN. Okay, UN.
yeah,
Okay.
yeah,
So
yeah.
he was there with Lula on the first time that Lula went there, and he got the guitar and started singing. I think that's exactly this song, right?
Okay.
And everybody was like singing along and clapping. This was so special for us Brazilian to see and to remember. So I choose this one to connect because my left wing um, education
Yeah.
started with my parents and also with my brother. So this is why I chose this one to start it.
But that's why music is so important, isn't it? There's
Yeah,
links, and the
yeah,
fact that there is a story behind it. It's very different to say having an MP3. You know,
yeah. Of course.
exactly, exactly. But and as Leo says, a remarkable moment for
Yes,
that.
yes.
But
This was.
yeah, I was going to talk about the election a little bit later because I know you were sort of keen and involved with that.
Yeah.
But let's talk about it now. So
Okay.
a big moment and a big change in Brazil, which is a good change from what I can
Yes.
see as an outsider. So tell me what it means to you. Having this change.
Okay. So let's talk about politics.
Yeah, why not? Music,
Yes, we need
politics, why
to.
not?
Yeah,
Exactly. It's
we need
important.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, we are living the end of a very dark time in a meaning. I don't know how if that's not okay to say in English, but I think it's okay.
Yeah, yeah.
In Brazil, we had this very dark moment through the last 4 years on the past, and I can say past government.
Yeah.
And we are the culture was like m- the main target, to be attacked because it's through culture that our people express themselves.
Yeah.
So it's important for us to keep our culture, especially the culture which is not on TV and which are not on the radio, alive and vibrating,
Yeah.
to keep the people with the expression that they are part of the country. And this is very important for us. And it was the first thing the actual government attacked, and it
Yeah.
was 4 years of very hard attack. So when we do this kind of link through the culture and politics, we are now like rising from a very bad moment.
Yeah.
And it's very important for us in so many meanings, in so many ways, which it's hard to start describing it. And Lula is a very special person, um, because he was able to connect so far away points on the politician map in Brazil, and
Yeah.
put all these forces together to fight against the anti-democratic way things were going. And because of his power to put those people together on a table and make an agreement, this is why he is so important right now. And the last few days they were kind of um, frightening. At the same time, it's very funny, uh,
Yeah.
because we are seeing like a guy attached to a truck on movement to try to stop the truck. Have you
Right.
seen that?
I haven't seen that. I haven't seen that, but I can
This is
imagine what
so
you're talking about. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah, this is so it's such a funny scene to see.
Yeah.
At the same time, we're having like very violent episodes during
Yeah.
the last days. So what we need in Brazil right now is peace,
Yeah.
because we have been for 4 years very stressed and frightened about everything. And I think now we have like, okay, so let's start it over.
Yeah.
It's a new beginning. So it's a very special time right now. It's a very
it's
special
it's
time.
it's a big weight off your shoulders because
Yeah.
if some people are into politics, some are not, but it affects everyone.
Yes.
It
Yes.
really does affect. And obviously, I'm not from Brazil. I follow a little bit, but I don't know everything that's been going on over there. But it's clear from the reporting that I've seen that there's a big change, and it's a good change.
It's a good change.
And it's yeah, we're still waiting here in the UK. Maybe another couple of years till we can have our big change again.
To see it working, of course, of
It's
course.
gradually, but yeah, I mean, yeah, every country has its own problems,
Yeah.
but
We are a
it's
very
good.
poor country.
Yep,
Besides what we are a very poor country.
yep,
Besides all the progress we have been doing in the past years, people here are still very poor,
yeah,
and we need to fight it anyhow. We need to end like hunger and stuff like. We are like in 2022, and there's still
exactly.
people in Brazil who doesn't have nothing to eat during the entire day. This is unacceptable.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, and that's what we need to do first, and then we'll start working other things.
Working on the other things, yeah, yeah, the
Yeah,
slightly less important things, but yeah,
yeah,
it's difficult. We're in a very difficult. The world's in a very difficult situation at the moment,
yeah.
but yeah, I mean, we might come back to some of that. We might come back to some of Brazil in a
Okay.
minute, but
Yeah.
let's go back to music. Let's do another
Okay.
track, and then we'll talk a little bit about your sort of background in terms of DJing and things like that. So
I've
so
selected.
what's the second one you got?
I've got this one, which is a very curious one. I don't know if you know about that, but during the '60s, it was very common to have Brazilian versions of pop music from
Yeah,
UK and US. So I have this one, which is a very funny version of Yellow Submarine from Beatles. I
cool.
selected to connect Brazil and UK right now.
Okay,
Let's
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 do it.
listen to that. It is a very funny version. Check it out.
Tanto fiz pra conseguir com meu benzinho poder sair. Muitos presentes, promessas mil, tudo em vão, que papelão. Até que um dia, foi num segundo, surgiu a ideia maior do mundo. Já encontrei a solução. Vejam só que tentação. Vou comprar um submarino amarelo. Um submarino amarelo. Um submarino amarelo. Vamos passear com um submarino amarelo. Um submarino amarelo. Um submarino
Funny, right?
That's that's cool. So hold on. Submarina Morel? Is that what it's
Submarino Amarelo.
Submarina Morello? So it's almost like
Yes.
submarine yellow.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's the
This
other way around, yeah.
yeah. And there's there are two brothers.
Okay.
The group is called Os Vips, the VIPs.
Yeah, yeah,
It's so funny. And it was very common in Brazil, and the thing I think it's Brazil through music used to be very we are kind of pirates.
I don't think it's just Brazil though, because it's interesting. I'm just going to
Yeah.
make this comment here. Galen Hardy says that's better than John and Macca's. So he's saying it's the better than the Beatles version.
Yeah.
And hello,
Thank you, man.
hello to Seaside FM as well. It's interesting because it's I don't think it's just Brazil because we've had I've had Fifi Larue and some other DJs who've played a lot of Canadian or French
Oh.
Canadian and similar stuff. So they've taken again pop music from the UK and done it in French Canadian. It's also well we love versions. I love
Yeah.
versions. I think record collectors and certainly 45s collectors, 7s collectors love versions. So anything that's slightly different to the original is brilliant. But
Yes.
yeah, that's a great one. I love that.
That's a very funny one.
It
And
is a
people
funny
used to
one.
do that without any permission of no one. There's a very
Yeah.
funny story about Brazilian music. I don't know if I have the single over here selected, but let me tell the story.
Yeah, of course.
When the movie La Bamba,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, when it was released in the US first, I think, uh, before the music, the original soundtrack arrives in Brazil and being pressed, then so sold, be on the
Sold.
stores, you know,
Yeah,
sold.
yeah.
Yeah, there was a group in Brazil that received a copy before anybody, and they re-recorded the song this exactly the same way and
Right.
released it on a 7 inches
Okay.
on a compacto
Yeah.
before the original soundtrack arrives in Brazil.
That's proper pirate. That's proper pirate.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
proper bootleg. Bootleg.
Yeah.
Good evening, Yanis
Salve,
Mudatsos as
salve,
well.
Joanes. Que
Yeah,
bom
yeah.
sua presença aqui, meu irmão. Valeu.
Yeah. It's almost a Greek name. Um,
Yeah, yeah.
yes. Yeah. That's cool. Great to
Laudatus.
see you. Um, because we again it's interesting because we've talked about bootlegging in
Yeah,
records here, but we've talked about it simply with a case of people pressing like hip hop records that they don't own the rights to. But
sure.
for you, re-recording stuff that hasn't even come out yet, and
Yeah.
selling it, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
You know, that's pretty cool. You know, and it's pretty clever.
Yes.
But that's all good. Right. Let's get back to your little timeline. So,
Okay.
obviously, you get into music through your brother listening to the radio. At some point, do you then start buying? Do you start buying records from a young age, or does that come a little bit
Mm,
later?
no, it came a lot later. In fact, I remember the first album I bought. It was a CD
Okay.
from an independent band in from my hometown, Belo Horizonte. They're called Patofu, and
Right.
they are very nice. They don't have any compactos. They have a few records on vinyl, but this a specific one is Tem Mas Acabou, which means we have it, but it's over.
Okay.
Which is a funny expression in Brazil. We used to use it, and from this was the first album I bought. It wasn't on vinyl at all. I started buying vinyl very late
Yeah.
after it was gone in Brazil, because I don't know if you know that we have been like almost 10 years without any pressing in Brazil. Almost.
What, going 10 years back from now?
No,
Oh, there was a ga- there was a
from
gap of 10 years.
97,
Okay.
until 2007, I believe.
Yeah.
uh, it almost was nothing being pressed on vinyl in Brazil.
Oh, I did not know
They
that.
stopped the industry of vinyl. So vinyl became being pressed here 10 or 13 years ago. And now we have new records and stuff.
Okay.
But only almost only Brazilian music. From these late years, I only have one record pressed in Brazil, which are not Brazilian music, which is a band from the UK that I really love, which is Idols.
Okay. Yeah. Idols.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, and they pressed their record here in Brazil recently.
Interesting. Okay, so there's this gap of 10 years where no records have been pressed in Brazil. That's crazy.
Almost, almost, almost,
And was that
because
simply because what CDs took over and MP3s and
yes.
downloading it? They just stopped.
Here in Brazil, we have a problem, which are to have good turntables and
Yeah.
equipment to play good music on vinyl. Vinyl was popular, but our equipment, which was also popular, was a very bad equipment. So the sound was really bad.
Yeah. Okay.
We had it's like three in one. Do you have this expression over there?
Three in one.
Yes, it was the
No.
radio, turntable, and cassette deck on the
Oh, okay.
same, yeah,
Yeah.
on the same stuff.
Yeah, all in one. Okay, yeah. We
Yeah,
had there was some of those around, and there's also like separates. It would build up. So my
yeah,
my first thing that I had was like CD player, two cassettes, and a record deck and a radio. So it was like a
perfect.
thing. But yeah, okay. So you would have that
Yes.
rather than,
So
for example, turntables.
yeah, so
Yeah,
when CD arrived, this it sounded so much better than
yeah.
vinyl
Yeah,
that people was like giving vinyl away to buy CDs,
yeah,
and this was a very I don't know how to say it. It was like a very huge tide, because suddenly people were listening to music without all this noise. The music
yeah.
was really clean,
Yeah.
and they were like, CD is better than vinyl.
Yeah.
because the equipment was bad, you know.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And so for those years, it was almost none vinyl in Brazil. But suddenly
If
it
only
went
you're a
back.
time traveler. If only if you could be a
Yeah,
time traveler, go back to
yeah,
then, take all this vinyl that everyone's throwing away. It's the same with 45s.
exactly,
We talk about it now.
exactly.
You know, if we knew what we knew now, you'd go
Yes.
back 5 years and buy all these 45s really cheap. Now they're really expensive.
Yeah, yeah,
It's yeah, but that's the beauty of hindsight and
yeah, yeah.
knowing about the future. Okay, all right. So rather than buying records, obviously you were buying CDs or buy CDs at the beginning because
No,
that's or certainly the
yeah,
first
I
one.
started buying CDs because that what was available. Suddenly
Yeah,
there was no records on the stores, and
yeah, yeah,
in Brazil we have the record store, the huge ones. They are all gone. We have
yeah,
none.
yeah, yeah.
Only
Same here.
little shops and
Yeah, yeah,
neighbor shops, and that's what we have right now. And the neighbor shops, the little shops, they almost only sell vinyl nowadays, because it was something very notable what happened in Brazil, because after CD, and then MP3, and then streaming, and then it was all gone. We almost have no media in Brazil. I
yeah,
work with artists, and they were like, "Well, why will I put a CD on the market, but
yeah,
people won't play it, people won't buy it? Why is that for?" So we
yeah,
started doing posters and other stuff to promote music, you know. And I started buying vinyl when there was no vinyl factories in Brazil. So I started buying all this old stuff, cheap stuff. I bought a a good turntable at the time, but not for DJ, just for listening. And I was like, oh my god, I need to have a better equipment. I want to be a DJ,
yeah,
because this is like a memory from my childhood. Me and my and this brother Giordano, we were like scratching my parents'
yeah, yeah, yeah.
records. Because we saw Grandmaster Flash. Everyone saw that.
Oh, I think every child at some point has done that on their parents'
Yeah.
record deck. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So we are,
Okay. Yeah, yeah,
yeah, we were there scratching the records, and that memory is very powerful. I have
yeah,
a younger a younger, I have a son which is 7, and he was here on the weekend with a friend, and they were both here on the decks
yeah.
scratching. The same thing we're doing like 30 years ago, right?
It's almost intuitive, isn't it? You see the record, and it's
Yeah.
something about it's almost intuitive to sort of start moving
Yes.
it, especially if you
Yes.
don't know what you know, and that's good. That's great. And hopefully we'll get them on the 45 kids.
Yeah, I'll put him
Sometime
to some training.
sometime soon. Sometime soon we'll get him
Yeah,
on there. Yeah, yeah. But it's yeah, again, the 45 kids has been a lot of fun.
yeah.
Okay, let's pause there. Let's pause there and have another record. What have you got for
Okay,
your
let's go.
third record?
I've got this one over here, which have some nice story too. This is from the cuts I was telling you about, the regional stuff from Brazil.
Okay. Yeah.
And I need to cut the part of the song because it's very slow. Oh, just for you to see it. This is an accordion from Brazil, which we call sanfona, right? But it goes all this way very slow, and suddenly, let's see if I find it. It's here. Suddenly it becomes very groovy.
That's cool.
Yeah. Hey, hey, Seaside! This is a very famous musician from Brazil. He's called Dominguinhos, and this is tema de um sanfoneiro. It would be like the accordion theme. And Dominguinhos is very famous. He's a monster in Brazil. And this is from a movie from the 70s, which is called Bye Bye Brazil. And it's a very funny movie. Gotta check it. It's so funny. And they have this little psych funk guitar on the back, you know?
Yeah, yeah.
So groovy. This is funny. The vocal one, gotta tell the story about that. This is very traditional from this kind of music, which is forró, like this chromatic melody. This is very common on this music from Brazil.
It's again. I think it was one of the streams the other day. I was playing. I can't remember where it was. Some non-English music because I play a lot of world music.
Nice.
And one of the people in the thing is like, I don't know what they're saying, but I love the music. And it's
Yeah.
when you don't know what the lyrics are saying, you don't understand the language. The vocals become like an instrument in themselves, and like you say,
Yes.
the sort of singing and the melody, and it's almost like the vocal is another melody. And I think it's why I like it because I've never been one who really takes in lyrics. I've always been more about the music than lyrics.
Me
Apart from
too.
like, some rap music, and especially when I don't understand the lyrics, it becomes more musical. So I think that's probably why I like sort of world beats. But it's great that there's so much tradition as well
Yeah.
in,
Yeah.
in Brazilian music. And again, you played the version of the Beatles, but
Yeah.
I've heard from listening to you and Nat Jacko and all the other Brazilian DJs, DJ Bill, Leo, of course, everyone else.
Yeah.
So many different versions of the same song, slightly different, but still really good.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
amazing. Like the
Yeah.
classics, a Mascanada and all these sort of classic big records. But even some of the smaller stuff, I've like, oh, I've got a version of that, but it's slightly different.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess people in different regions record different versions. Is that how it sort of works? Or
Maybe yes, but sometimes it's just about recording something and put it on it on the world. There
yeah,
is some strong movement in Brazil from, for example, gafieira. Gafieira is a rhythm. It's something uh, between samba, bossa nova, but like this big orchestra playing samba with a lot of brass. So it
okay,
was music made to dance and specifically to dance quick and with a couple, by a couple. I don't know. So
yeah,
Gafieira has many versions of some classics. They used to get like some funk, North American funk, and do a Gafieira version of it.
okay, yeah,
Sometimes they get some very slow samba, but it was very popular, and do a gafieira version of it because it was all instrumental, but people could sing along and while they were dancing, you know. And it depends on, because
yeah,
there was also some movement with Moog and keyboards here in Brazil, so people used to do like very nice versions, all
mm,
instrumental, with like drums, bass, guitar, and a keyboard doing the lyric, the vocal melody.
yeah.
There's this guy which is called Lafayette, which is the king of all these versions.
So they're using sort of like Moog and synthesizers as
Yeah,
the vocal instead of like
yeah,
yeah. Very cool, very psychedelic.
yeah.
Um,
Speaking of
yeah,
version, can I play a funny one right
of
now as
course.
we are
Yeah,
talking
go for
about
it.
that?
I'm going to say
There's
hello
this.
to Koya
Yeah.
TV and also Nat Jacko's in the house as well.
Oh my
Um,
God! Salve, salve, Nati! Que presença! I'm going to say just like she does, okay? Ô louco, bicho! This one is a very funny one. This is new, a new record. As you can see, it's orange. It's from
Yeah,
Discodelic, which is a label from
I
Mexico.
love that. I love that label. Yeah,
Yes, I love them too. They are very
yeah,
nice folks. I've been talking to them through Instagram, and they have done this compacto with two very nice Brazilian music on versions in Spanish that were made back on the 70s,
yeah.
but the records are I don't know, ultra rare. And this version, which I really love, is a version from Marcos Valle, Mentira, which is a classic from a soap opera theme. And the version is dope.
Dices que yo fui el primero, dices que yo vi primero, dices que de cuerpo entero, dices que más es mentira, chichi, es mentira. Mira, chichi, es
You know this
mentira.
original one, right?
Yo no
Yeah, yeah,
quiero
yeah.
tener celos, yo no quiero tener quejas, quiero creer, más es mentira, chichi, es mentira.
So good.
Mira, chichi, es mentira.
Cowbell.
Dices que yo fui el primero, dices que yo vi primero, dices que de cuerpo entero, dices que más es mentira, chichi, es mentira. Mira, chichi, es mentira.
Check the break.
Yes, yes.
This is so groovy. That's it. So beautiful. I love this version. And this music has some history in Brazil. Mentira was like we have this very popular soap opera that goes on public TV, and Mentira was on the soundtrack of a very popular soap opera from Brazil. But Marcos Valle was like forgotten for a little time during I don't know the 90s, 20, 2000, and there's this amazing DJ from Brazil that you should interview, which is DJ Nuts.
Okay.
He sampled Mentira on a very well-known Brazilian rapper, which is Marcelo D2. And then people were, whoa, look at that song from the time we were kids. And all the DJs were into finding the record, which where was Mentira. And after that, we have discovered this version of Mentira made, I believe it's Costa Rican.
I think so. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh, so dope! I really like Marcos Valle, but I'd rather have this version nowadays.
It's interesting you mentioned soap operas, and also we got Takaya TV
Yeah,
in the chat because I think the next Timas e I'm going to pronounce it wrong. Timas e Diversos. I think it's all right.
yeah,
Themes and versions. And I think the next one is films and soap operas. I think
perfect.
so. Obviously, I'm not going to know any of these Brazilian soap operas. I've got a couple of UK ones, but it's going to be interesting hearing this music from Brazilian
Yes,
soap operas. So if it's
yeah,
anything like that, I'm going to love it. I'm going to love it.
yes. It's going to be dope. We have like this very amazing musicians like Wilson Das Neves, which was a drummer, a very good drummer,
Yeah,
and Azimucci, and even Marcos Valle, and many other amazing musicians and composers. And they were doing very good music for TV.
yeah.
And we have like a huge history about that.
Well, exactly. Yeah, and I think soundtracks, especially because
Yeah.
they are repeated every
Yeah.
week, they have to be good. Almost, they're not
Yes.
all good. There are some rubbish ones out there,
Sure.
but a lot of them, but a lot of them, because they've been listened to so many times, they have to be good because they get into
Yes.
people's heads. So, yeah, I'm going to try pronunciation again. So, especial novelas. Is that a bit
Especial
closer?
novelas.
Especial novelas. Closer.
Yes.
I'm getting there.
There's
I'm getting
something
there.
funny about temas e diversões because versões, which would be of versions in English,
Yeah.
it's like fun. The word
Okay.
diversão means fun in Portuguese. So this little trick, that's why
Fun
it's there.
versions. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we love fun version. We had
We
two
love
already.
fun version, sure thing.
Um,
But I don't know if you knew that in Brazil, the soap operas they were played every day. They were on weekly.
um,
Every day there
yeah,
was a new
yeah,
chapter, and so the music played every day. So it need to
yeah,
be
yeah, yeah.
really good, you know.
We have some in the UK
Oh,
who
really?
who are I haven't watched them for a long time. I think there was like EastEnders, which was based in London, which was I think it might become every day towards the end. But we also had the
Nice.
Australian ones. So we had Neighbours
Oh,
and Home and
okay.
Away, which were 5 days a week. And I mean, Home and Away is only
Okay.
just finished for years. But again, it
Yeah.
used to be every day. You get home from school, there'd be some kids' TV, and then it'd be like one of the Australian, soap operas.
Yeah, that's nice.
And I don't know how much you know about it, but obviously Neighbours is
No,
Jason.
I knew nothing about
Do you
that.
know
I
Kylie?
didn't know.
Kylie Minogue? Have you heard of her?
Yes, yes,
Right,
yes.
she was in Neighbours, as was Jason Donovan. That was their first big
Oh,
break. They were actors on that show, and then they went on to obviously much much bigger things.
couldn't know
So,
nothing about
but
that.
yeah, 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 yeah.
Amazing.
It's crazy. You look at Kylie now, and you're like, oh, okay, she was in that show. But yeah, it's amazing. Right, let's get
So
back to the
amazing.
story. You're
Okay.
starting buying records. You wanted to be a
Yes.
DJ. So tell me
Yes.
about that. How did that progress from you buying records to then starting to be a DJ?
It progresses like, I don't know, like a rock that becomes something else.
Okay.
Because at the beginning, I found everything very expensive.
Yeah, yeah,
The needles were expensive, the turntables were expensive, the mixer was expensive, and the records were really expensive. So I started doing like a very amateur way with bad needles, sometimes a very ancient mixer from, I don't know, the 80s, which I
yeah.
bought on some secondhand store, and I need to open it and rebuild all the connections in the mixer.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
but that's something that I think it's nice to start with a very hard beginning. It's because you learn more than if you had everything on your deck
Definitely.
and was just play, man.
Yeah.
I remember when I was starting to collect records and think about being a DJ and a vinyl DJ, which is different, right? Come on. So there was this. I have a friend which had a bigger brother, and the bigger brother wanted to be a DJ from nowhere, and
Okay.
they are very rich people. So their family just bought two Technics and a very nice mixer for him. Okay, so he started DJing, and I was, come on, man, let me play on those decks, and he was, no, no, come on, come on. So and he gave up, like,
Yeah.
it didn't took a year for him to
Yeah. Yeah.
give up, and it took me like 6 years DJing before I have my two MK2 and
Yeah.
be whoa, now I can practice at home. I used to go to the places where I was going to DJ, and they rented some turntables, or they had the turntables, and I was there when the club or the bar was closed, and I was practicing on over there. And how many years with borrowed needles and even borrowed records,
Yeah. Yeah.
until I have a little collection that I can work for an hour as a DJ at the beginning. And it was very messy in the beginning because I wasn't able to research and listen to good DJs and to learn as I can do it right now, because right now I can stop for an hour and watch a DJ play and see what
Yeah.
he's doing. And we have these DJs with cameras
Yeah.
everywhere,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
you can see everything, right? At that time, I had none about that. So it was crazy because I started DJing with very some dance music from the 90s, which I love,
Yeah.
and they were cheap records, so I could put 1 hour of those music, and it was surprising because it was music from 10 years, 15 years when I started doing it. And people, whoa, come on, this is so great. Why we forgot that? So I'm always trying
Yeah.
to bring something from the past and replace it on the moment where no one is expecting. At the beginning, because I didn't have the records. Right now is just because it's better, right?
Yeah, yeah. Well, now it's like a, yeah. Now it's more of a choice, isn't it? You're like,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
and it's more of a DJ, but it's interesting the nostalgia that people have
yeah.
for old music. Still
Yes.
now, I mean, now the '90s is the big thing over here. Before it was the '80s.
Yeah.
At some point, as we get older, it'll be in about 5 years' time, it will be the 2000s, and you'll be like, okay. But again, with records, as opposed to digital DJing, it's brilliant that we can play music from,
Yeah.
I played music from the 40s, the 50s, 60s, for pretty much every decade. You can play music from, and you've got it on vinyl, and you play it with records. It's not
Yes.
quite the same with digital DJing because they tend to be a specific genre, or they tend to be sort of modern music or pop music or whatever. So I think it's something
Yeah.
that's quite unique for sort of vinyl DJs, and it sort of
Yeah.
sets us apart from other DJs. Not necessarily better, but it sets us apart, I think.
Yeah. And there's something about vinyl which I think it's the most amazing thing is mostly of the music that I DJ nowadays, you can find it on internet. They
Yeah,
are
yeah,
not on Spotify. They are not on
yeah,
YouTube. They're only on this little plastic stuff,
yeah, yeah.
And this is so amazing. I love that. I love that. Really love that.
Yeah, yeah, and it makes you unique as a DJ as well,
Yeah,
because
sure
obviously you
thing.
go to a party or do a set. You've got what you've got, and it's
Yeah,
unlikely the DJ next to you or the one before you's got the same records.
yeah,
There might be one or two, but most of the
yeah,
time they're not going to have the same records. Whereas if you go to
yeah.
other music, but yeah, right. We'll pause the story there. Let's have another
Okay,
record. Let's have another record.
okay. You're talking about the 80s. There's something funny in Brazil.
Okay.
Um, I'm a kid from the 80s, and
Yeah.
for my generation, the 80s were so goofy. They were so lame in a way of saying that. And so Brazilians from my age, they're getting back music from the 80s right now. So clubs, parties used to play a lot of 80s music from Brazil, and we are rediscovering things that were there in the 80s that no one heard because there were so many artists back
Okay.
there
Yeah. Yeah.
back in time. And I'm really into the 80s right now, which is like my such a plot twist on my history with music, because I used to say no, the 80s are so goofy. Let's
Yeah.
listen to
Exactly.
some 80s from Brazil.
Foge, foge comigo. Foge, foge comigo. Foge, foge comigo. Foge, foge comigo.
Se agarra no meu corpo pra não cair na hora de arrancar. Sente a brisa em sua cara. Foge comigo, muita coisa vai rolar. Ah, sol, céu, imagens, uma canção. Eu ronco bravo do motor. É o som romântico atual, tudo certo no final. Fugindo de motocicleta, Romeu e Julieta dos anos 80.
Foge, foge comigo.
That's it.
Foge,
I really like the bridge. I really like the bridge to the chorus, and he says something that I'm going to translate to English so you can understand. Uh, it's an actual and romantic sound. Okay. Everything right on the end. Romeo and Juliet on
Yeah. Romeo and
the
Juliet. Yeah.
yeah on the 80s end. Como é que é? Romeo e Julieta no final dos anos 80. something like that. And so he was saying something about the 80s in Brazil on the 80s. And this is very nice for us nowadays because people in the 80s, from our perspective as a kids in the 80s, they were goofy at the time. But
Yeah, yeah,
yeah, when I look back at that time, people were so free. They were
yeah.
so free. They could say like very stupid things on lyrics and do great music with that. This is a very stupid lyrics, but they're so good.
It's just it's so funky, and it's the
Yeah,
beauty of music because again, 80s. Uh, so I was born in the mid 70s, and then so the 80s was sort of when I was coming through. I was into some of it, but not. But now I can appreciate the music now, which I didn't
yeah,
appreciate back then. And the good thing is now it's still quite cheap on to
yeah.
buy sort of 80s music, really cheap. I don't know. I mean, is that like a cheap record in Brazil? Can you pick that up, or is
Yes,
that
this one
expensive?
is, but there are some specific from the 80s which people are going crazy about them.
Yeah.
Some compactors from the 80s in Brazil are dope crazy. I'm going to show as we're talking about expensive records from the 80s.
Okay.
This one is a repress
Let me just get that
from
up.
Marcos Valle. As you can see, I really love Marcos Valle.
Ah, yes,
This is
I've seen it. Yeah, yeah, I've seen that
You've
in the
seen this
UK.
one? This
Yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
nice.
It's really
This,
short,
thi-
isn't it? It's only a couple of
yeah,
minutes.
really
Yeah,
short track.
yeah.
I'm going to let's listen to the uh, original one and then we listen to the instrumental one because the
Yeah.
original one was made for like a supermarket. This is a propaganda made by Marcos Valle.
Okay. Yeah. Well, you can
And
tell us the story in a minute. Yeah.
okay, let's listen to that and then I'll tell the story.
Viva o que faz a lua cheia, viva quem fez o sol. Viva o que faz a vida linda, viva quem fez o amor. Quem criou você, fez o girassol e os animais, fez a terra e fez o mar.
When I think about Brazil, besides being Brazilian, I think what people around the world imagine Brazil is something like that.
Yeah.
Like very cool people having a great life with no worries about nothing.
As
So
a
let's listen to
seaside.
the all the instrumental, then we speak about the story during that.
Yeah, yeah.
So Marcos Valle did this music for a supermarket to be in a propaganda about the supermarket. I believe the supermarket was called Girasol, which is sunflower in English. And this record was pressed on the back in the time. I think it was 400 something, and it's a very short song. Okay, it's like 1 minute and 13 seconds. And okay, it's a propaganda music, but there was this B side with the instrumental version of it. So nowadays, the original one of this record is like fucking expensive. It's crazy expensive. But my friend, which is Vicente from a label here in Brazil, which are called Vinil SP, he repressed it in a small batch too, but good one. And he was telling me that they were doing like this water reading of the record to have the record with no noise at all. Something crazy about repressing that I haven't heard. And the record also can't find even the repress nowadays. But I think it's really dope. Really, really dope. It's a very nice music. He's playing this one. And that's it. This song is beautiful.
It's so okay. So a couple of things that come out from that. One is
Nice.
obviously that was a supermarket jingle.
Yes, jingle.
And that
Yes.
and as Seaside FM says, supermarkets had fire jingles.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, I mean, I'm trying to think. We have supermarkets here, but I can't think of anything any supermarket in the UK that's had a funky jingle like that.
Yeah.
That is pretty cool. But then the other thing we were talking when we did our test, I think on Sunday, we were talking and you were telling me that there's not many Brazilian records that have the vocal on one side
Yeah.
and then the instrumental on the other side. That's quite unusual. So
Yes.
this is quite an
Yes.
unusual preference,
Sure. Yeah.
effectively.
But I think it was they had the instrumental music because maybe they played the A side with the lyrics for like radio or
Yeah.
propaganda on TV or stuff, and the instrumental one could be playing during on the supermarket, because without the lyrics, it
Yeah,
could
yeah.
be playing forever.
It's like what we call elevator music.
Yeah, yeah,
You're in a
yeah,
lift, an elevator, and obviously it's just a sort
yeah,
of background music. Doesn't
yeah.
really do anything, but it's just sort of there. Da, 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 da.
Exactly,
It's that sort of thing,
exactly.
isn't it? Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. And this is rare, really rare in Brazil, and it's I believe that in Brazil it's rare to have the instrumental version of it because people normally launch it one single from a record,
yeah, yeah,
and it was maybe when they could launch a single. So on the B side of it, they need to explore, and there are few bands, instrumental bands in Brazil that would be doing instruments. So they're instrument on the A and the B side, but to have like a record from a musician, a singer, and only have the band on the B side, it was like, oh man, oh, come on, you're you're crazy about that, you know. So they
yeah,
were
yeah.
doing like putting more songs to try to get on to public, and they needed the B side for that. We started having this in Brazil when the first hip hop music started going out on 7 inches. I have one. I wasn't selecting this one, but at least let me show it, this one for you. Just a sec. Just a sec.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, play a little bit if you want. It's all
Yeah,
cool.
it's a little bit.
The show's
Let me.
pretty fluid. We're sort of moving all
Yeah.
over the place. It's all cool.
Oh, this one. This was a group, the Black Juniors, and they were like the ancient hip hop groups in Brazil, and they were very criticized on back in time. Sometimes Brazilian people can be very critical. So the music is ancient hip hop. 808.
Mas que lindo estás, mas que lindo estás, eu te quero namorar. Mas que lindo estás, pra você eu vou dançar. Mas que lindo estás, eu te quero namorar. Mas que lindo estás, pra você eu vou dançar.
Ancient scratches.
Eu vou aprender a dançar legal pra meu sonho conquistar. E quando souber dançar muito bem, na TV vou me apresentar. Vou ganhar um prêmio se você famoso no meu show na TV. E quando crescer, vou chegar pra ela e assim eu vou dizer.
Mas que lindo estás, eu te quero namorar. Mas que lindo estás, pra você eu vou
This is, I think it's so funny because
great
they're,
song.
yeah, this is so great. And when you listen to the instrumental side, which they call instrumental, it's basic the same without the younger guy voice. Just check it. Same shit.
Mas que lindo estás, eu te quero namorar.
This is the instrumental.
Mas que lindo estás, pra você eu vou dançar.
Yeah, so just taking out that one voice.
They take the one voice, but the masculine this time. Oh, I think Instagram is over.
Yeah, yeah.
Bye bye Instagram. So let's focus here on Twitch. So
Yeah, yeah.
this is I think there's something about that which is very nice. Do you want to restart on Instagram or are we fine here on Twitch?
It's up to you. We can restart on Instagram if you want. It's
No,
up to you.
I think we're fine here.
Okay.
Okay, so um, the funny thing about instrumental versions in Brazil that they normally appear when the band wanted to people to sing along. So
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
the music is entirely here. Just a little rap part
Yeah.
is not there. So we have like these very nice albums for karaoke,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
Karaoke. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
karaoke, yes.
Yeah.
And there's amazing instrumental versions of such amazing music, and but almost never on a 7 inches. Almost never. It's very rare to find it here in Brazil.
Maybe that's something to think about for the future.
Yeah. Oh, the
Bootleg.
future is being thought.
Bootleg a load of karaoke instrumentals from Brazil.
Yes.
That'd be dope. Yeah, that'd be really
Yeah,
good.
yeah.
That'd be really cool.
Yeah.
That'd be really cool. Right, let's get back to the story then. So,
Let's go.
you obviously pick up on your DJing. So, do you then start sort of getting gigs? Do you then start playing out
Yes,
clubs and
I
things like
was
that?
like this. I was like this crazy DJ that went to play on everywhere. We will have some speakers over there. Oh yes, we have speakers. Okay, I'm going to DJ at your party. So I started playing everybody's party,
Brilliant.
and just to practice and to be, over there, and people just say, "Oh no, JJBZ is DJing." Okay, that's nice. So I started to playing everywhere I could, and I started. This is something funny. I always start a new project thinking of records that I can buy. So when I started DJing it back in the time, the most cheap records were jazz records. So I was into the secondhand stores and buy all the jazz records. And I
Brilliant.
started DJing during, sunset time, for people seated on decks, not for in a party where people were dancing. And and jazz, there's something about jazz that, okay, you can be like the greatest DJ, the jazz DJ that you mixed everything and then you don't know what the fuck. Wow, did the guy come from that song and went to that one? Or you can just fade in, fade out, and it works
Yeah,
as
yeah, yeah,
well.
yeah, yeah.
So jazz was like a easy way to start being outside of my house DJing too. So I started with a little jazz and that 90s that they are a lot. I think they are all seven. Come on, 120 BPM. So it's really easy to mix them.
Yeah, yeah.
And I started doing little gigs, and I was like doing a party for myself, my birthday party, and I got together my some DJ friends and a guy which had like this club in my hometown. He went to the party to see me DJing, but it was my birthday. I wasn't going to DJ. I was going to drink until the day the day ends. So we started talking. Oh man, I
Yeah.
came to your birthday to see you DJing. I said, man, you came to the wrong party to see me DJing. I've been DJing on his club before he see me DJ.
Yeah.
And we started a party in my hometown, which is Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais. It was Alta Fidelidade. It was a party dedicated to vinyl culture back in
Right.
time when no one was vinyl DJing on our city. So it was five DJs, and we have no style, no rules at all. The only rule was to be music to dance, no matter which dance, and every DJ played 10 minutes, and then comes the other DJ.
Cool. Yeah, yeah, yeah. 10
Yeah,
minutes is
so
good. Yeah.
Yeah, so we were like fitting music into 10 minutes and passing the decks to the other DJ. And we were
Yeah,
like
yeah.
all the night rounding the turntables. It's just
It's a lot of
such a
fun.
great thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was such a great fit. The party is still going on Belo Horizonte, but I'm not
Wow.
participating of that anymore. The party is like 13 years. 13? Yes.
That's amazing.
And it's
Yeah, yeah.
very nice party. And from there I went to what I'm doing right now. It was like a school for me because I was DJing with very um how can I say that, geek DJ, which is a huge influence to me, which is DJ Kowalski. He's a guy that started DJing with those big tapes, how do you say
Reel to
that?
reel. Reel to reel
Yeah.
tapes. Yeah, yeah.
Yes,
Yeah.
and he was cutting the things and doing the tape remix and stuff. You
Wow.
worked with that, so I learned so much with the Jay Kowalski because I couldn't mix very well at the beginning. I couldn't I can't really mix the best nowadays. I think I'll do it sometime on the future, but this guy taught me so many things with vinyl records and DJing and how to. He says something that I think is really pure, and I maybe I could define what the DJ art is through his words. He say DJing is like making poetry with other folks' words and music. So it's like
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah,
it's
yeah.
like you can it's like a Dadaist stuff, but the metric need to keep it over there or not. But you need to know. You need to have a message to say through the music you're DJing.
Yeah.
It's not put the record and play, right? And that's what defines good DJs and bad DJs. There's some folks that says, oh no, some that guy can mix music, so he's not a DJ.
Okay.
I
Yeah.
I don't agree with that. I think that DJing is much more than that. I think it's about building a story through music.
It's a cliche, isn't it? But
Yeah,
what a lot of people say is music takes you on a journey.
yeah,
And it's true, and it does it certainly for me, and I enjoy what I do because I play different genres. I play eclectic mixes, and it's sort of
yeah,
all over the place. But it's also why I love what we get to see on Twitch,
yeah,
because even on one raid event, now it's really busy. We're talking more about Twitch raid event. Now it's really busy. There's 20 different raid trains every day or whatever. But even
yeah,
if you just stick to one raid train, the music you're going to hear through 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hours is so varied and so
yeah,
different, and all the DJs are different, and yeah, and every DJ is different, which I love. There's the
yeah,
DJs who are the turntablists who are brilliant at scratching. They're really technical. The music might
yeah,
not be as much of a journey, but they still play stuff. There's other DJs who just select, like you say, who just play one record and then play another record, a little bit of mixing and everything in between. Um,
yes, yes,
but it's definitely about a mood and a vibe and a journey. Because otherwise you're just a radio show, aren't you? Well, not even a radio. You're
yeah,
just a playlist. You know.
yeah,
And it's also being able to change and see what's going on and see how the people are reacting and think, okay, I'm now going to go slightly this direction, or I'm going to go in this direction, or I'm going to speed it up. Like that record you played earlier with the accordion. So you start that off, it's that, and then suddenly it changes in the middle.
yeah, yeah.
That's a real moment. Is creating those moments in music.
That's
I think is,
exactly.
is really important. And people will remember
Yeah.
that. People will remember
Yeah,
that.
it's remarkable because I think even there's something that I discovered on Twitch that I had a little clue back there on the Mixcloud golden times of like 5 7 years ago. I can remember the time I discovered Lefto, the DJ, through Mixcloud, and I was, man, this guy's so dope. Oh my god, he knows so much about music. It was the
Yeah,
same time. I'm going to show something which is not a record, but is a book about
of course.
records.
Yeah, yeah. Go ahead. We like books. We like toys. We like all sorts of things. I think.
Yeah, this
Let's have a
book
look.
over here, it's a very famous book.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Test and Groove is from Elon Pass, which is a friend, and I've designed this book. I've done
You
the
designed that
graphic
book.
design. Yes, I've
Oh
done the
wow.
graphic
Oh,
design
I did not
of
know
this
that.
book. Yeah, yeah. This is a very special project I've been into. So um, when I started being together with Elon, I discovered his blog back in the time, just in grooves, and just a sec. And I was really into these crazy DJs like Lefto, like Giles Peterson, which is not he's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
DJ and he's a selector as well. But the
Yeah, yeah.
guys are so into research and so into discovering music that's, oh my God, look at that! Somebody needs to listen to this shit. This is so dope. And I was very happy to be part of that. And I was listening a lot to Leftover back in the time, and I was like, I was thinking about that because it's really hard to build a career being a DJ that is about research and maybe so crazy music that is
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
unlistenable.
Yeah.
And yeah, I remember the time we brought Lefto to DJ on my hometown. He
Okay.
was he was coming to Brazil, so we put him on our party over there to DJ, and it was very crazy to see because I was like, when you go to see like a DJ that you really love, and you're like almost in over the turntables, like, come on,
Yeah, yeah.
man. And people on on the floor on the club where he was DJing with us, they were like arms crossed, the eyes were very almost closing, trying to understand what the fuck this guy is doing
Yeah,
with
yeah,
this
yeah, yeah.
music.
Yeah,
What's
yeah.
that? And when I discovered Twitch, I discovered the perfect place for that because
Yes.
on Twitch I can DJ whatever I want to. Whatever I
Exactly.
want to. And
Exactly.
it's about that because if it's up to listening to radio music, I'm going to listen to radio. You
Yeah.
know, if it's up to listen to pop, best of whatever, I'm going to listen to some Spotify selection of it. It's a place where people are discovering new music from all around the world. So I started on Twitch very late because I was almost stopped DJing when pandemic arrived. When pandemic arrived, I was, oh my God, I'm going to DJ all the days. I'm going to Twitch every day, not Twitch, to stream every
Yeah.
day. I'm going to do 1 hour of music so people can come down and have some fun and get together. So I was streaming on Instagram using Instagram microphone. You can imagine the quality of the sound,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and it lasts 15 minutes because
I
it
know.
was all, yeah. So when it was starting to be something nice, my one of my turntable just crashed, and I
No.
couldn't send it to reform, to how can I say that, fix it.
Fix it, yeah.
So I was like, oh my God, what I'm going to do? And I stopped DJing for 1 year or something like that. I didn't put the hand on my turntables and nothing. After a little while, I was, man, I have so special records and this turntable, they're good. All the things are so good. If you're not going to DJ anymore, sell this shit, man. You need the money. Sell this shit, man. And I was going, okay, so let me see how much money can I have with record selling and selling my stuff.
Yeah.
And I discovered one record, which is a very rare record in Brazil that I didn't
Yeah.
know it was rare. It was the first record that I went to Discog. I never been on Discog until that. It was a year ago. And well, let me see what's up with this record. I'm going to give it to someone. And the record was like I don't know how in pounds it would be, something like 2,000 pounds, something like
Whoa.
that. Dope rare,
Wow.
dope rare. The first record that I tried to see how much it cost.
I can see a lot of records behind you. That's a lot of thousands of pounds. I'm sure they're not all worth £2,000.
Oh my God. So I was, oh man, this shit values a ton of money. And instead of selling them, I started buying more records. I fixed the turntables. I bought 2 new mixers, and I'm DJing on Twitch like for a year and a few months from now.
And here we are. Here we are talking
And
about
here
all
we
of
are,
this.
and that's it.
And you could have been well, we wouldn't have been talking. You would have had an
Yeah.
empty room. You'd have had no records, no mixer. That could have been the way it went.
I wouldn't have a mic
Yeah,
if I saw this on
exactly. You
clip.
wouldn't have a mic, wouldn't have a camera, wouldn't have lights. You
No.
know, it's crazy. It's 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 it is really funny if people come
Yeah.
here who don't
Yeah.
know what it
Yeah.
entails to do what we do, and they sort
Yeah.
of come into a room and they're like, "Well, hold on, that's a lot of stuff you've got. You know, you've got
Yeah.
this, and you've got a computer, and you've got that, and you've got this, and you've got that." And like, well, yeah, no, that's what we have to do. So we've got this little
Yeah.
screen to be
So
able to.
many cables on the back, trying to hide them with some poster and stuff.
Exactly. Well, as Seaside FM says, I'm
Yeah.
also so glad you didn't sell your records.
Oh yes, me too.
Definitely so glad. I'm going to say hello to a couple of other people. Benny Goggs, he says, picking up on your point, good DJs play the music you didn't know you wanted to hear.
Yes, perfect.
And we've got Mock Tack as well, who says that he recently run into one of your streams and liked it very much. Hard to catch Brazilian DJs from the EU, but you've got a very cool YouTube channel.
Thank you so much,
and
man.
also, hello to Paul Sitter, who's in the house.
Amazing.
And obviously, Leo, we've seen already.
Woohoo,
Um,
vamos!
But it's let's have one more record and then we'll come back to Twitch. Let's have
Yes,
another
yes.
record and then we'll talk about Twitch.
Let me see something different here. Oh, let's talk about Brazilian music from nowadays and
Okay.
version as well.
Yeah,
This
cool.
is a beautiful compacto from a friend of mine label. The label is Vinyl Lands. You can see it over
Okay,
here.
let me just get that onto.
Okay.
Okay, there you go.
This is the label. This is Vinyl Land, the name of the label.
I think
And
I've heard of
he's
that label. Yeah.
into pressing very nice stuff. This I really love this song. Do you remember Khaled? The I don't know the country where he is from, and
Doesn't ring any bells yet.
you're going to it's going to ring when you listen to
As soon as
the
I hear it,
melody.
yeah.
Yeah. And he pressed this version of this very pop music from Khaled back in time, and it's a very funny lyric for Brazilian folks which are watching us. They are going to laugh a lot, and if they are
Okay.
from my hometown, they will laugh a lot more because it's it's a very a specific original tiny little joke about our hometown, and the label is from
Okay.
my hometown, so it's going to be fun. Let's listen to that.
Eu já falei que assim não dá. Ela é de Sabará e eu sou lá de Betim.
Got this?
De Betim, de Betim. Oh, oh.
I used to play with a little more speed.
Eu já falei que assim não dá. Ela é de Sabará e eu sou lá de Betim. De Betim, de Betim. Oh, oh. A novinha quer chapa, ela quer open bar e eu só tenho pro refri. Pro refri, o refri, oh.
This is very funny. He's saying that he wants to be with a girl, but
Right.
she lives so far from him, from his neighbor, and that she wants to drink a lot, but he only have money for one soda, and he all jokes about not having money and live far away, but he wants to be with a girl, but she wants to, but they live so far.
Ela quer namorar e eu sou
It's so funny, man.
de Betim, oh.
And the beat's good too. It's nice done. I love this one. Did you remember the song?
I don't
Fro-
know. It's not what I
No?
know. I'm trying to think who mentioned that label. I think,
Vinyl.
yeah, one of the Brazilian DJs. It might have been you. I don't know, but someone certainly mentioned
Yeah.
that label before.
He Scratch Bastid is DJing with a Vinyl T-shirt lately because he went
Okay.
to Brazil and
Yeah,
he
yeah,
won a T-shirt from the guy, and he's using so much because the artwork is so beautiful.
yeah, 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 yeah. That's quite.
Yeah.
No, that's like a new. That's like a new release, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, they are doing
Yeah.
some new releases from Brazilian hip hop or even beats and stuff. And Luis, which is the owner of Vinyl Land, used to live on the UK,
Okay.
so
Okay.
he's really into compactos and the culture of this foreign ways of doing music and all mixed up and all this crazy relationship between stuff
Yeah, yeah.
and into versions of famous song. There's another record from him from his label from Monkey Giant, and on
Okay.
it they have a Brazilian version of Informer from Snow. You know,
Ah, that's
and it's
starting to ring a bell.
beautiful.
Maybe that's what I've heard. I don't
Yeah,
know. Maybe
I have
I don't
this
know
one. Let me
if
show.
I don't know if Bill might have played it or
Ah,
someone's
yeah.
played that.
Sure
I'm
thing. Sure
pretty sure
thing.
I've
This
heard
one.
that one.
This one. Wanna hear it?
Yeah, yeah. Go on, hit it. Put
Let's
it on.
check it. Let's check it. This is beautiful, and they just launched a new record from the same artist, which is Monkey Giant. I believe that's the way we say it, Monkey Giant. Let's listen to it. This is a beautiful version. I love this one. Oh, I'm sorry, my camera is flicking. I'm so sorry about that, folks. Hope it's not bad.
Yeah, yeah,
This is completely dope.
yeah. This is so cool.
Todo mundo já sabe antes de acontecer. O língua solta já passou por aqui. Como a mãe de Ná, ele tem o dom de prever.
And it's nice because in Portuguese he's calling it X9, which is an expression we have for informer, you know, like snitch.
Snitch, yeah,
Mas quer
Yeah.
sempre ter mais. X9, cuidado com quem fala por aí. Eu tô sabendo bem. Deixa de lorota, seja mais objetivo no que diz. Toma coragem, vem. X9, cuidado com quem fala por aí. Eu tô sabendo bem. Deixa de lorota, seja mais objetivo no que diz. Toma coragem, vem.
Maybe this is a song for temas e diversões because I believe that Snow Informer was in a Brazilian soap opera track list. Yes.
Não veste a carapuça. Vê se dessa vez toma vergonha nessa fuça. Todo mundo já sabe qual é a sua. Passando vergonha no rolê na rua. X9, cuidado com quem fala por aí. Eu tô sabendo bem. Deixa de lorota, seja mais objetivo no que diz. Toma coragem, viagem, 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 viagem.
So nice, right? I love this version.
Yeah, I've definitely heard. I think it may have been Bill may have played that.
Yeah, I think
On
so. Bill is
something.
also
Yeah,
friend with Luis from Vinyl Land.
yeah, yeah,
In
yeah.
in my hometown, Belo Horizonte, where Bill is, and also Luis from Vinyl Land, if you're not friend of someone who is DJing vinyl, there's something wrong because everybody know each other.
How big a place it is? How is it a town? Is it a city? Is
Yeah,
it
it's a
a
city.
how
It's
many
like
people?
2.5 million, I believe, on
Oh,
the
that's a
principal
big city.
city, but
Yeah, yeah,
almost 4 million on the cities are really close by,
yeah, yeah.
nearby.
Wow, that's
Yeah,
that's a big place. Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's a
definitely
big
a big
place.
place.
It's a big place.
That's cool. Okay, let's get
Nice.
back to Twitch a little bit then. So,
Okay.
you find yourself on Twitch,
Yes.
and so how did that work? Did you just start streaming, or did you start jumping on raid events, or how did you first start into Twitch?
I saw a friend of mine, a very special friend, which I need to thank a lot for all the support that he's been giving me during the past year, which is DJ Yuga, also from BH,
Yeah,
from
yeah.
Belo Horizonte. He's an amazing guy, amazing friend. And we are going to DJ on a party on Friday, a
Cool.
present party, yes, on Friday, back there on Belo Horizonte. I'm going to travel over there. And I saw DJ Yuga was streaming, and I was going back to my records and going back to my equipment and doing. Let me see what the fuck this Twitch shit is. So I went to one of his live and I was, oh my god, this is so nice.
Yeah.
This is dopely sweet, simple, and nice. You open a camera, you put the
Yeah.
the P the P2 on the computer and
Yeah.
throw the music away. If there's someone, okay. If there's no one, okay too.
Doesn't matter.
And yeah, and there's something really funny for me about that because I never really practiced too much. I know as I was doing this party with 10 minutes sets. I was like, I can 10 minutes set, man. Come on, I don't need to practice that.
Yeah.
It's over, and that's it.
Yeah.
So when I went to doing Twitch, and I understand that no, to do a nice live on Twitch, you need to do a lot of hours of broadcasting. And I was so, mom, man, I can only DJ for 10 minutes. That's what I
Yeah.
learned. You know,
That's a very
fast
short
cuts and
stream.
yeah, short
Yeah.
stream. So
Switch it on. See you later. Yeah.
bye bye, it's over. So when people enter, I'm
One
gone.
second. I'm going to pause
Okay.
you there. I probably haven't done the shortest stream, but we did. I think it was Shambra, maybe Shambra 2.
Okay.
And I'd already played my set, and there was supposed to be female DJs from I don't think Brazil, maybe France or somewhere.
Oh,
And they
cool.
weren't available. And the DJ before Double P, his laptop was running out, so it was
Oh
going to
my
run out of
god.
charge or whatever. So I was like, okay, look, I'm ready. I can jump on. And so I literally did the raid over. I said, right, hi everyone, and then Sideshow Moore says, yeah, they're live. So I was like, okay, goodbye. It was like literally a 2 minute stream. I was like, right, we'll raid out again then.
Amazing, amazing. One song. Bye bye. Thanks.
Yeah, see you later.
Yeah.
That's
So
the sort of fun stuff of Twitch.
yeah,
And here we go. Sweet
yeah,
Tooth remembers this as well. But it's sort of like we
yeah,
were saying
yeah,
before. It's moments moments in music, but also because we're broadcasting, because we're TV, because it's events and raid things. There's little things that happen in events and raids that
yeah.
people remember, which is
Yes.
amazing.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, back to you, back to you.
No, no, no. I'm trying to remember a good story about that because today there was something very the not okay part of it. I was every Tuesday I do on a 3 hours show
Yeah.
all about instrumental music with no mics and no voices. Only with
Okay.
the if the specific tracks where voices are only used as instruments, they are not saying anything or they are a little sample of a voice, etc. So I was doing this live today. It was nice. It was like 20 people over there, and okay, that DJ from Japan, which I received a raid on that raid event, and don't remember, but he's online, and I never raided to him.
Yeah.
Let raid this folks, they are going to go dope. He's such a good DJ, and when I raided, I haven't told him that I was going raid to him. Okay,
Okay.
so let me raid him. He must be started right now. Okay, so I raid to him, and he went offline.
That's
How many times that happens that
oh,
you don't agree with no one, or someone that you never rate to, and then you rate, and I rated
and
one
then they've
time to
raided
little Dave.
onto yeah.
Yeah, I
I think
rated one time
raiding
to little Dave, which was very
yeah.
funny because he was recording his show with no mics too, and he was on the final 2 minutes, and he was, oh man, come on, I'm finishing my show. So
I
sorry
know.
about that, man. Say rate the guys somewhere else.
It's a shame because raiding is such a good thing. It's one of the. I
Yeah,
think it's such an
yeah,
important thing. I mean, hosting they've sort of got rid of, but other than suggested streamers, but
yeah,
raiding is brilliant, and I think it's what
yeah.
makes Twitch for DJs stand out more than Mixcloud and more than because Mixcloud doesn't
Whatever.
have that
And
yet.
and the
And it's a
live stuff, right?
yeah,
Because you're chatting with people, you're exchanging experience with other
yeah,
DJs. There's this guy like DJ Lou here from Sao Paulo, and
yeah,
you're DJing a song, and he was, oh, this song comes from that year, and the guys are playing are those, and the guys an encyclopedia of music, and he's like
yeah, yeah.
doing the scout of the music on the chat live when you're DJing. It's about community, and this is why I think it's so amazing about DJing on Twitch. It's because uh, it's not only about the music.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
it's about the music, but not only about music, because I'm DJing something instrumental. I'm not speaking with no one through the mic, but I'm on the chat on my phone, talking
Yeah.
a
Yeah.
lot of the guys, a lot of fun. We are laughing out loud today on the morning show, and there's someone that used to watch Bill and see me over there and start following, and then one day I'm live, and the guy the person goes to my broadcast and, oh, I came from the Bill channel or Yuga channel or 45-day channel, and I
Yeah.
saw
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
on the break train. I really like what you do. So on this way, people are building such a strong community around music and connecting. Like, oh, that I think Bill is like a big example for us about that, because he's streaming for so many hours and
Yeah.
so crazy music, and people are like this really crazy. It's like music is a fireplace on the middle, and people is around hugging each other and dancing and getting crazy while they are normally seated on the computers working.
Yeah.
You know, this
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
dope. I think this is so dope. This is so, I couldn't imagine this when I started DJing somehow. You know,
I
this
mean,
is so beautiful.
it still amazes me because
Yeah.
for me, Twitch. I've told this story about, I used to know that it was about gaming, and
Yeah.
it didn't make any sense. Why would people watch other people playing games? And it's similar now. If you tell people what we're doing, they'll be like, "Well, hold on, you're a DJ. Why do you sit around watching other DJs?"
Yeah.
But it's the community, it's the chat, it's
Yeah.
the rather than watching box sets or TV or soap operas or whatever, you're watching and listening to good music, and you're also interacting with your community, and you
And
meet. The thing about Twitch is you meet new people pretty much
yeah,
every stream. Pretty much every stream,
every stream.
someone new comes into your chat, or someone raids in, or someone comes along, or you're on a raid event or something. You're always meeting new
And this
people,
is
new
something that
connections.
doesn't happens when you're DJing on a real party.
No,
People don't come to you and, oh man, this song is amazing. Let's talk. Oh, I'm from that place and I love your music. And no, it doesn't happen on a real
no.
party.
They
Only
come
on
and say,
Twitch.
"Play me this song. I want to hear this
Yeah.
song. Put this
Oh
song on.
yeah.
Put that song."
Yeah.
Because they don't know any different. Because
Yeah.
that's what they
In
think.
Brazil, we have something very funny to say to those folks who
Go on then.
asks for song in a very appropriate way. We pass the PayPal. So this is my PayPal.
Okay, brilliant.
Go for it. Go for it.
Fantastic. But
Oh
it's
my
yeah, and,
god.
and and it comes back to what we were saying earlier about the fact that
Yeah.
you can play whatever you want,
Yes.
whatever style, whatever music, whatever genre. And another thing we were talking about on Sunday when we were doing the test is
Yeah.
playing records at different speeds
Yeah.
as well, because obviously
Exactly.
Compactos is 33. 45s are 45
Yeah.
generally in the
Yeah.
UK and everywhere else, but we were also talking about the fact that there's play slow down music, which again
Yeah.
is amazing, that you can broadcast music played at the alternate speed and people will still watch and listen and get involved. It's
Yeah.
it's crazy still.
Even calm
Um,
music, right? Even easy listening music, which you would never play in a party.
yeah,
And it connects me with the beginning of everything when I was DJing jazz, very
yeah,
easy listening jazz. And now I can DJ all that jazz from my first bought records, and there are many people interested in good music to listen to have a nice time at work, or to do the breakfast or the lunch. Or I have some friends in Japan that watch me, and it's very nice to imagine that. For me, I used to DJ on the mornings, Tuesday and Thursdays. So I'm doing music for mornings, so we're starting the day, we're reading our email, we're doing our stuff, we're doing
yeah,
breakfast, we're doing stuff from the mornings. But there's this friend in Japan that loves the music that I'm doing for morning, and she's on late night.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
And
Because
she also
yeah,
think that's relaxing to sleep. So sometimes she also she send me some messages. Let me sleep, listening to you. She's so cool. Kisses, Fujiko.
but again, that's a brilliant. Twitch is a 24-hour online music
Yeah,
festival,
Yeah. Yeah.
And I love that it brings all these different people from around the world together. We live in
Yes.
the UK. We've like your politics. We voted for some crazy stuff over here
Yeah.
to just basically let's go it ourselves, and let's ignore all the rest of the world.
Yeah.
Whereas this, look, I'm in the UK, you're in Brazil.
Yeah.
We're talking music, and we've got things in common, and all of the rest of it. And I love it. A couple of
Yeah.
points.
Me too. Me too. Me
Benny Goggs
too.
says. So his response when he gets a request, his
Let me
response
see.
is he's not Siri.
Oh, this is good.
Yeah,
This is
yeah,
good. Can I
and
copy it?
yeah, I love this. Yeah. Again, someone asks you for a tune, and you say, "I'm playing vinyl. If I haven't got it, I don't got it,"
Yeah.
which is
Yeah.
which is very true. And I love that because they're
I
like,
love that
"Oh,
too.
have you got this? Have you got that?" And well, I've only got my records with me. That's all
Yeah.
I've got.
Yeah.
And then they follow up with, "Oh, here's my phone. Plug it in." You're like,
Yeah, no, I
"No,
have no cable for
no,
that.
I'm not gonna."
Normally, I'm very polite and
Yeah, yeah,
calm and
up to a
treat
point.
people well. I'm
Yeah,
very, very, very calm, and I explain. No, man,
yeah,
this is not a cable that you plug. This is a vinyl. The music is recorded
yeah,
physically over here. I really like the song you're asking. Maybe that song would work right now, but it doesn't. And even if it works, I don't have the record. I'm so sorry. If you're liking that, thank you so much. If you're not, you can go over there. So the sound is really low and you can talk to your friends. And when the music is something that you like, you can come back. You're always so welcome. Normally, I'm that person. But sometimes
that's
people
very
are
polite.
so unpolite the way they ask music. And that's what's turned me fucking off because
Yeah,
uh, uh, man, I'm working, motherfucker.
yeah,
Don't mess with the DJ. That's the rule. Don't mess with the DJ. If
exactly,
you like the song, you stay. If you don't like, the door is over there. That's it.
exactly, exactly. We have a thing here. I don't know if it's the same there. Where people are like, please play this song because we're leaving in a minute. Play this song before we leave the club or the pub,
No,
and you're just like,
man.
well, why would I do that? If you're leaving anyway, go.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh no, Seaside FM says even
Let me
on
see.
Twitch she's got to play this artist.
Yes,
Oh,
I have friends that complain about that. I never went to that situation.
yeah,
One time, I think, but the person was very polite, and I didn't include it. I didn't have. I like the artist. I think it would work, but I didn't have the record, and
yeah,
it was exactly the situation. And but I think normally people which are like hard users here on Twitch, they are much more polite, right?
yeah,
They are up to listening to the music of what the DJ is playing, because it's nothing that you pay for an entrance and then you're listening to the DJ on a club. No,
yeah,
you're
yeah,
listening to someone that you chose, and you can choose
exactly.
other DJ if you're not liking the music. That's so simple, right?
Yeah, yeah. But exactly, but it's I like the interactivity on Twitch sometimes
Yes.
because people will
Yes, me too.
say, "Oh, what's on the B side of something?" And I'm
Yeah.
like, you know what? I haven't listened to the B side for a long time, or I haven't listened to it at all. Let's do it, and then you can do
Yeah.
stuff like that, which is pretty cool. But also the thing with Twitch is people come in, they watch. If they don't like it, they go to another channel. Usually there isn't any negativity or anything. They're like,
Yes.
they don't
Yes.
like it, they'll go find another one of 3,000 DJs who are DJing.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. Or
Exactly.
and then they might come
Exactly.
back. They'll go off there, won't find what they want, and then they'll come back. And because we play vinyl, the music's changed. So maybe when they come back 10 minutes later, the
Yeah.
music is different.
The music
But
is
it's
different. Yeah. Yeah.
exactly
Yeah.
right.
That's so
Let's.
nice. I really love Twitch, and I think about this community feeling about it, which you're saying now. We're talking to people and talking about music and DJing music. I
Yeah.
think it's like there's something some people say in Brazil that internet would make us smarter, more
Okay.
intelligent,
Yeah.
but it doesn't really work that way so
No.
far. But I think on Twitch and what we are doing together here as a community about music on Twitch is about that. I think we
Yeah.
are all discovering music that I would never listening to. I was watching you on that day. We're doing the 24 hours of 7 inches,
Yeah, yeah,
and
24/7.
you're
Yeah,
playing such great music that I never heard, and some samples of it, some remixes and some stuff. Oh my god, I was like crazily dope watching you. And I think it's about that. We are getting smarter
yeah,
watching other DJs DJ and having some nice chat on with our friends. So let's keep it up.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, definitely.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's have another record, and then we'll
Okay.
do one more little bit of chat, and then we'll find someone to raid out to. But yeah,
Okay. Well, let me see. Ah, this one is very rare one, and this is there's I have I think that all my records have a funny story about them. I just got it now, or I just selected the funny ones. I don't
that's
know if you
cool,
can
man.
see. I'm sure I'm going to show first it on the camera. Just a second.
Let me just get that on single if I can. Yeah, I got it.
So
That's a cool label.
yeah, this is a record from Guitar Course. It was something that you
Okay.
buy a magazine to
Yeah.
learn to play guitar. And
Amazing. Yeah.
look at this amazing funk. Check it out. And there's this very nice voice in the beginning, which I like to scratch for this. Oh, it wasn't. Second.
Faixa 4.
How groovy it can be. I was DJ on my first raid train, and it was my first raid train ever, and I was DJing. I think I was doing only compactors, and on the audience there was this very nice DJ from Brazil, which I love, which is DJ Marky, and he was on the audience listening to that. It was the first time that a very famous DJ was watching me DJ, and he was, "Oh my God, you have this record, man! I need this record because it's very rare one. I don't know if it's expensive. It must be, but it's so good. It's so groovy." I think I need to clean it. There's also another track on this record, another funk from it, which is very acid. For those who are listening to us and they know Brazilian music, it really looks like Robson Jorge and Olivetti, which are great musicians from Brazil, and they have this texture and this sound. It sounds very close to his sound, their sound. This is so special, right? I really like this compactor. And it's a series. I have like three other from the series. The Toki guitar. It's like play guitar and acoustic guitar.
I was going to say, let me just be clear what that is. So that is a record to help people learn to play
Yes.
guitar.
Yeah,
But I mean,
it comes.
that's pretty advanced, isn't it? Because that's not an easy thing to do. I don't play guitar, but I can't imagine that's an easy thing to do.
Really, it's
Hard.
fast. This second track I've played from it. It's very fast, and I think it's like something that you would be like improvising over it. So you could do
On top,
slow or
yeah,
you
yeah,
could do
yeah,
it fast.
yeah.
But it was like a some uh, background for you, you know. And I think it's so beautiful. This is so special one. I really love this one, and I found it so. So I was like, I was in a record store on the downtown here in São Paulo, where I live, and the guy from the store was a very nice seller because he could figure out what you like in 10 minutes. You're in the store.
Amazing. Yeah, yeah.
This guy was so good. And never found out what happened with him. He's not there anymore. So I was in the store on his record store, and I was like, "Do, do, 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 do," and man, do you like compactors? I think I love compactors. So come here, I have a box for you. And he was like, "Oh, this one," and he got this one over here,
Amazing. Yeah,
and he was, check it out, man. I was like, no, 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 not that track, because I was listening to the last one, the other one,
yeah.
the more groovy and slow, and I was like, oh my god, this is so groovy, and he was shaking the head with me, I got you, man. And the
That's
other
brilliant.
record that this guy sold me on the same day, let me show. This is beautiful,
Well, put
beautiful,
it on. Put it
beautiful.
on. Put it on.
This is,
Let's make the last one that you're going to play for this one.
yeah. This is we started with Gilberto Gil, so let's end with Gilberto Gil on a version. This is Aroma from Lucia Turnbull. This is, let me get close. It's so hard to put in the camera.
We got it. We can see it. Aroma. I can see it.
So this is the promotional single of the track, and there's a 12-inch of it. The album, they have the album, and it wasn't released as a commercial one. It was only for promotion of the record, and it connects everything right now. This is so amazing. I selected other stuff to end it, but this is nice because this is a music from Gilberto Gil, where we all started, and it brings up us to the whole story through discovering music, through versions that we love, through putting music that is different for people to listening, and to the 80s and the 80s aura and music. This is a beautiful way to say to end the songs. This is beautiful. And this is so happy. The word aroma means smell, and she's talking about the smell of good things.
Vem pelo vento, aroma, fragrância, odor. Vem da pitanga, da manga, perfume da flor. Vem do estrume, cheiro do gado. Vem do pecado, aroma, amor. Do corpo dele, aroma, amor. Todo molhado, aroma. Cheiro de suor. Todo molhado, aroma.
Let me dedicate this one to Seaside, our friend. She really loves this one. This is so nice. I was thinking about something right now. The record seller that I was talking before, that sold me the Guitar Course record, he also sold me this one. And they are connected, but they are far connected, right? And it's nice to think that Somehow the record sellers are also some kind of DJ because they are selecting music for you to DJ. So he needs to know you, right? As you know, a crowd on a club or on a festival, the record seller needs to know you exactly to to sell your record, right? And I think there's some genius on that too, you know?
da graviola. Vem do pé de manjericão, aqui cheira manjericão. Todo o planeta aroma de planta do sertão. Todo o planeta, que cheiro gostoso, aroma de capim cheiroso, de planta do sertão.
This is so amazing. There's something funny about this record too that I remember just now that, and this is something normal in Brazil. This compacto, this for 7 inches, it has the same song exactly on the same speed on both sides. It was
That's so annoying. That's
yeah.
such a waste of wax.
Could you imagine having this instrumental version? It
Yeah.
would be so great to DJ this one. And I think it was because normally it's for radios, right? So
Yeah.
people were storing records on the most terrible ways ever. So if the record scratches, you have the other side, my friend. You're
Yeah,
safe.
yeah, yeah. That makes sense. It is
Yeah,
annoying sometimes when you buy a record and it is
yeah,
exactly the same or
yeah.
a slightly edited version.
And
Uh,
there are some records that
yeah.
on the one side the song is 33 and the other side the same song on 45. I mean, come
Okay.
on. Why is that for?
That seems really weird. I
Yeah,
guess I
yeah,
guess if you've got it at 45, you can then play it at 33. So you can maybe, but I can't imagine they thought that far ahead.
yeah.
That somewhere.
No, I
Um,
don't think so.
no, exactly. It's been amazing. It's been a lot of fun.
Yes,
I've
man.
really enjoyed it. Well, we have to
Me
do this again
too.
because I'm sure there's lots
Yeah,
more stories, and yeah, well, we'll come up with another format.
I
Let
hope
me just
so,
let me just
man. I
have a
hope
quick look
so.
and see. I've got an idea of who we might rate to. We've
Oh,
talked about
let's
sort of
check.
interesting music, but we might go and see Jazz Nasty. Do you know Jazz Nasty?
No, but I'll be glad to
Yeah,
get
yeah.
to know.
Let's
Let
go
me
and
just say
see.
something because I'm not watching Twitch. I was watching Instagram, and I'm with you on StreamYard, so I have no idea of what people are saying on the chat. I hope they are all
Okay,
fine over there.
they've
I
all had a
really
good
like you
time. Yeah,
guys.
yeah.
Thank you for being with us. It
They've all
was
had a
so
great
good,
time. Let me just set the raid and make sure that's going. Okay, that's cool.
amazing.
Right. So first things first. When can we see you again? When are you next playing
Cool.
on Twitch?
I have three. Le- my English need to have a word of for that. Um, I DJ at 3 days every week. I DJ at Tuesdays and Thursdays. On Brazilian mornings, 9 a.m. in Brazil. I don't know what
That's
would it would be on
midday
UK.
UK. Yep.
Midday, okay, okay. So I'm DJing on Tuesday and Thursdays. Tuesdays I do instrumental music, and it's very instrumental music can be a lot of stuff, right? Today I DJ hip hop beats, so I was playing the instrumental versions of very famous hip hop songs, a little bit of Afro beats, and I finished
Cool.
with some more hip hop beats instrumentals. But last week I was DJing very relaxing, easy listening instrumental music. So it's always a surprise on Tuesdays. On Thursday I do bossa nova for same time, 9 a.m.
Cool.
Brazil, and it's sometimes with more vocals, sometimes more instrumental, but normally very cool bossa nova or very acid bossa nova. It depends on my mood. And every Sunday on at 1 p.m. Brazilian time, I do samba. And all these broadcasts are 3 hours broadcasts. So these are my three shows, which are all the week. I do these three shows. Sometimes I do Saturday mornings, I do music discovery. So I go to my collection and pick records that I don't listen or play and try to find a nice song on it. And sometimes I do Friday nights in Brazil, music to dance, but
Cool.
not all the Fridays. That's it.
Fantastic. Thank you once again.
Thank you
Thank you
so
for
much,
everyone for tuning
Criztoz.
in.
It was
And
an honor.
if you want to watch it back, it'll be on YouTube and it'll be Mixcloud. But yeah, take it easy. If you
Yeah,
hang
thank
on there
you
and we'll
so
have a quick chat.
much. Okay. Thank you